I'm proud to be English. My family have served and we've defended this country and we've been to war for this country.
I'm really patriotic about Bangladesh.
Well, I am 100% Icelandic, yeah, definitely.
We're just proud black, so that's it.
Yeah, I think we are probably the best country in the world, if I'm honest.
Think about other countries and other nationalities in the world. Are there any that you don't feel you get on with well or you won't like particularly?
Germany. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Germans.
Particularly India and Pakistan, probably, because of the whole, the conflict.
But French?
No.
We're just best, it's just fact.
How would you feel about taking a journey based on your DNA?
Yeah, I feel very intrigued.
What could you possibly tell me that I don't know?
So do you know how DNA works? So you get half from mum and half from dad, so 50% from each of them, and they get 50% from their parents, and back and back and back. And all those little bits of your ancestor, they filter down to make you, you. I need you to spit in this tube for me. We spit up to the little black line, right? The story of you is in that tube. What's it gonna tell me?
It's gonna be, oh yeah, you're French, and wait, your grandparents are French, and wait.
100% Bengali.
Solid Iraqi.
I'm Cuban.
You're gonna tell me that I'm English, like I've told you.
Jay, can you come down and join us?
I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say.
So you ready to find out your results? Will you read it out to us, please?
Wow, look at me.
You might have seen this incredible video that has been launched on the internet and it's had millions upon millions of views all over the world. Today we've got Per Christiansen, who is involved in the making of this actual film. Per, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you, I'm doing great, thank you.
So tell me, Per, this documentary, our viewers are very familiar with this video. We've shown it on Revelation TV many times. Take us to the beginning. Where did the idea of this video come from?
I think for us, the idea was very back to the foundation when we sort of created Momondo. Momondo is 11 years old, and the idea of Momondo has all the time been about breaking down boundaries, making flight tickets so cheap that everyone can meet up in the world. And 3 years ago, Momondo became so big that we sort of said, okay, now we can actually live our vision for the company. So we started working on this project. We started working on something that we call Let's Open Our World, which is a movement that we want to start. So we really want people to join into this movement of making a better world, making a world where it's good that we are diversified and that it's actually building on each other, that we are different. And we want to tell people that boundaries are something that we create, or has been created, mostly by wars and so on. So we really want people to meet and to generate respect between people.
Talk to me a little bit about the making of this, of the DNA journey, the process, day one. What was it like? Did you have your set plan ready to record? Did you know what you wanted to record, the content? Or did things start to just evolve as you started recording? Give us a little insight.
Yeah, sure. I think for us, it was very important that it was real people, which was also very much in the time to do that. We recruited 67 people from all over the world to make sure that we include everyone. And we recruited them out of Copenhagen and out of London. Especially London, we could get a lot of people from all around the world. Those 67 people were DNA tested, and we also interviewed them for 10 minutes to hear about their background and what did they know and so on. Based on that, we looked at we made sort of the correlation between the DNA and what they have told us to see if there was a story, or possible story in it. And we did that with 15 people, or actually 14 people in the beginning. One of them being Elaha, the Kurdish woman. We invited her because she also had a very sort of, there was also a story in that by itself. But just, I think the same day that we started to invite these 14 people, the DNA company called us and said, okay, this girl Elaha that you invited actually has a cousin among one of the people that you haven't invited. And you said that's also a cool story. Should we also use that?
Hello.
It's Alaha, is it?
That's correct. Okay. I'm originally from Kurdistan in Iran, but I'm a political refugee, and I came to Denmark with my siblings and my parents when I was 6 years old.
So how much of your family background do you think is Kurdish?
We don't have a country anymore, and we haven't had it for a long time. And when you're a people like me, you don't even know exactly what your grandparents are, you know, if you look at the blood. But we are confident enough to say that we are people on our own, even though what we've been through, you know.
So your family has been through a lot as Kurds?
Yeah.
And you know about that? Think about other countries and other nationalities in the world. Are there any that you don't feel you get on with well, or you won't like particularly?
I have this side of me that's like, hey, we are all humans, and boom, boom, boom. And this side of me is that hates Turkish people. Not people, but the government.
How would you feel about going on a journey based on your own DNA?
Yeah, that would be exciting. And scary in a good way.
I need you to spit in this tube for me. You spit up to the little black line, right? The story of you is in that tube. What are you hoping to find?
This sounds so like a big cliche, but maybe like that we are all equal, that there's not a big difference between you and me. And
Elaha, want to come down?
yeah. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So how's the last couple of weeks been for you?
Now I've been thinking, what the heck is Kurdish, and how do I tell people that I am Kurdish? So I'm maybe in a bit of conflict somehow.
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
You ready?
I am. Wow, look at me. What? Okay, 79% from Iran and Caucasus, which was Turkish.
Yeah.
Jewish, European Jewish. That's funny. Yeah, I knew that it wouldn't say that you're Kurdish. And that's what makes me a bit sad too, in a way, because I can't tell people that I'm Kurdish.
What? Why? This is one part of who you are. We're made of many parts. You're still Elaha. You're still Kurdish.
But now a bit Jewish.
You can be both.
Oh,
But those places you don't like,
yeah,
they're full of people like you.
I know. And that it's because, like me, you mean like...
Well, they're full of people that are the same ethnic mix that you are.
Now it gets political, but it's the government I don't like, so it's
The
not...
politics is not the people.
No, exactly.
In a way, we're all kind of cousins, in a broad sense. In a much more direct sense, you have a cousin in this room.
What?
When we were doing all these tests, one of the things it does is it looks through the 1.5 million people in our database and finds cousins. It just so happens one of those cousins is sitting up there behind you. Turn around and guess who it is.
I think I know who it is. Where are you?
Wash,
Yeah. What's that?
why don't you come down here and meet your cousin?
God, this is amazing.
Did you know that?
I didn't know I did. This is like, my heart's pounding right now, I swear to God. I swear I'm shaking as well.
Come here, cousin.
Hello.
So they were sort of totally in shock about it, and it's the real emotions that you see. But there was one thing which was quite funny, that they had actually talked about it in the break just before. That it was funny that they were, I mean, Elaha, she lives in Denmark, and Vash, he lives in London. But they had actually talked together in the break and found out that they were from the same city in Kurdistan.
Wow.
So, her family has just fled to Denmark based on wars, and Vash's family had fled to the UK. So it was sort of like, okay, now they actually meet together, and they were so emotional.
So that before they even knew they were related anyway, they had already found some sort of connection, and they were already emotional before.
Yeah. They knew they had some connection going back to the same area, the same city. And then as soon as the filming stopped, it was, just imagine, it was extremely emotional. Everyone was like one big family because suddenly we all had something in common. And then as soon as the filming and the production stopped, she called her husband and said, please come right now because I got a cousin. And then her husband, he came in right away, and they all hugged, and everything was really,
that's
really
beautiful.
cool.
And another particular participant as well is the English gentleman. He's quite humorous because he came in and he says, I'm 100% English, I don't like the Germans, and then eventually from getting the DNA results, he was part German. Tell me about his initial reaction as well.
I think Jay is making a lot of the story because he really turns, which was also what we talked about, that we wanted, in a way we wanted communication that we could point fingers and say that actually we are all prejudiced on different levels, but we all have it based on our, we talk a lot about our reptile brain. If you think back 2,000, 5,000 years ago, our reptile brains tells us, okay, I meet a person, I need to be ready to flee if it's a dangerous person, or to fight, or it's a good person, then I can stay and talk. And that reptile brain, we still have that function today. So every time we see a new person, we put the person into a box, and then we decide on how should we actually react to this person. It's the same that we do today, and what we talked about is that we wanted to point fingers and say that we should actually all be aware and be careful about how we put people into boxes and how we react and respect to each other. And Jay was the kind of person that could show it so that we could all think it, and also say, okay, I should also be a little prepared in how I actually behave towards others. Jay was actually, he was just so nice. He's really a footballer. We also talk about, is this too stereotype? But we really tried to say, okay, how is he going to react? And that was what back to in the casting, trying to find people, how would they react?
It's the Tottenham boys making all the noise. We are the Tottenham boys. I'm proud to be English. My family have served and we've defended this country and we've been to war for this country. So I know I'm English. My parents and grandparents have told me I'm English, so I don't see there being any other option for me to be anything else other than English.
So what makes you, do you think, English?
The fact that I was born in England, the fact that my parents were born in England, the fact that my nan and granddad were born in England. That's my nan and granddad. Both served in the army, like I said, Navy, Royal Navy, they were both in. Me in the middle, with my older brother to the left and my younger brother to the right.
Think about other countries and other nationalities in the world. Are there any that you don't feel you get on with well or you won't like particularly?
Germany.
Which nationalities?
Germany, yeah. I'm not a fan of the Germans.
Why is that?
Well, probably, if you ask me, through my parents, my grandparents, it'd probably date back to the war.
How do you feel about going on a journey based on your DNA?
What could you possibly tell me that I don't know?
I need you to spit in this tube for me, up to the little squiggly line. The story of you is in that tube. What's it going to tell me?
It's going to tell me that I'm English, like I've told you.
Jay.
Excuse me. Good afternoon.
Hello again.
Hello.
Are you ready?
Not really, but I'm here now, so...
Read those out to us then, Jay.
Ireland, 55%. Great Britain, 30%. Can we... 5% German. And did you just put Turkey in there to wind me up?
No!
Germany. Oh, Germany. I told you I wouldn't want to be German or Turkish, and I'm both of them.
We're both of those things, yeah.
So, yeah.
We were afraid that he would just leave and say, okay, I don't believe it. But he actually took it in and said, okay, this is also part of me, and that is something that is gonna grow me as a person. So I think actually he was the most definitive person in his beliefs, but he actually also moved in how he should see the world. We had a German lady after seeing the film. She wrote us a letter that was addressed to Jay, and she said that she really likes the film and she really likes British humor. So she would actually like to invite Jay because she said, I don't have anything against the Brits, and I like British humor, so I would actually like to invite him to come to Germany so she could show the country. So that was also for us just say, okay, actually, it's moving people. It's something that is really touching and that people are embracing the message. So that was quite cool.
That's incredible because the German lady could have been offended for someone saying something about your nationality, saying, I don't like your nationality. They could have taken it the wrong way, but this is just showing a prime example, Per, of the positivity that you're creating from this video. You're bringing nationalities together, you're bringing people from different backgrounds together. How can we be putting this video out to educate young people, to educate our children? Should we be putting this kind of videos into our schools, for example? We have a lot of projects in this Let's Open Our World movement that we want to create. So we have some projects going on right now that involve schools on how do we actually get people or get children from the beginning to stay open-minded, because they are open-minded from the beginning, but sort of what are they being told by parents, by society, and so on? How do we keep them open? And we're working on a project for that right now. Now, Per, tell us a little bit about your company, Momondo. They're primarily a travel search engine company, is that right? Momondo is a meta search engine, so it's like a price runner for flights and hotels and car rental, and that's still our core. We don't change that. But where it is changing and where it is impacting is that we can see that the movement we started to create, saying everyone that wants to join in, everyone that wants to join Momondo in creating a better world, creating a more open world, more tolerant world. We want to embrace that. We want to, either we fuel it ourselves with initiatives like the DNA Journey and other initiatives that we have started going on, or we're also looking into if we can actually invest in projects that are not Momondo projects, but
people that are doing good things out there to open the world. And we're looking into how can we actually help those guys.
And what have you personally learnt from, after making this film, what are your personal thoughts from this film?
I think where I was 2 years, 3 years ago, I thought that, okay, we can do something and it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be like this. But actually, if you have something on your mind and you have something saying, okay, this is actually what we believe in, and it's something where you can gather people around a common goal, then we can do way more than just being. Basically, Momondo is just a little search engine coming out of Denmark. But we can do way more if we say, okay, this is actually what we believe in, and people are willing to join in. And with the digital age, everyone has the possibility to join in. Either it's just a like or it's a share and so on. And right now, I think the film has 13 million shares in social, and I think around 800,000 comments.
Wow.
So, and everything is, I think 99.9 is positive. And if there's just one starting to say something negative towards the film or the subject, then the rest that are commenting are sort of defending the film.
Excellent. Now, you were talking earlier about what we believe in. If I can ask you a personal question, what do you believe in? What is your faith?
I think it's, I'm Danish. I'm not 100% Danish. I can admit to that. 82% Scandinavian. But my belief is I'm Christian, as most Danes are, and then my belief is very much when I actually when there's trouble. So yeah. It's sort of it's lying there below the surface, and if there's a problem, then I can say a little prayer to myself about that.
And may I ask you, what is the future, Per? Are you looking to make more films?
For us, it's very much the next step is to build a lot of smaller activations where people can join in and can help spread it, or they can help co-create the stuff that we think is the right thing. And then, yeah, we have a lot of initiatives. If I can mention just one.
Please, yeah.
One of them that if I can mention two, sorry. One of them that we just did was we built an activation called Welcome to My World, which was just a small activation where people could show pictures from their special place in their city to help people understand what kind of city is this actually, because you have a lot of preconceived notions about different cities. So in this case, we asked all our ambassadors, all the people using Momondo, saying, please help us open our eyes to how your city actually is. Yeah. One of the others is we have a sponsorship of CISV, which is an organization that takes 11-year-old kids, 2 boys, 2 girls from 20 countries, and then they put them into a summer camp. And they're in the summer camp for a month. And they do a lot of plays together, do a lot of working together. And then they know after the month they will be more open-minded when they grow up.
The basic underlying principles behind CISV is that there are more similarities between us than differences, and that bringing people together from around the world to create opportunities for people to come together, that way we can create a better and more peaceful world. Very quickly, we were very excited about the possibility of working together with Momondo. It became very clear that the two organisations had a synergy and a shared interest, this wanting to break down barriers, this wanting to build global friendship, having this vision. It means we're bringing together groups or delegations of 11-year-olds from around the world. It's this amazing experience of being away from home, of a little bit of independence, of travel, And then of meeting children from around the world, speaking different languages from different cultures, and actually finding out they're just the same as you, with all the same fears and all the same hopes, and that the hopes are more powerful than fear. And I see our partnership with Momondo as being a very exciting sort of step on that path and opening our access and opportunity to many more people.
We're looking into how can we help this organization in bringing out all the good stuff that they do in the camp. And that's also going back to what you talked about with the schools, because a lot of the stuff that they do in the camp is actually something that you could take out to schools, and that normal school kids could also use. So we're looking into that to see if we can actually get it into education.
Per, I think what Momondo is doing, you're primarily a travel search engine online, but there is something behind there that you're really creating these types of initiatives. You're affecting millions of people all over the world, but you're at the same time affecting these individual lives. You're taking these children from the age of 11 years old and you're really bringing them some foundations into their life for their future as well. And I personally think we need more companies like Momondo in the world who are, rather than focused on making the money and creating their business and everything else, you've really got a heart for people and spreading positivity around the world.
Yeah, definitely. And it's I think the best thing is that it's something that we truly believe in. And it's not something that we just say. It's really at the core of what we do.
Fantastic. Per Christiansen from Momondo Global Marketing and filmmaker of The DNA Journey. Thank you so much indeed for joining us today. And I really encourage our viewers, log on to Momondo's website because they've got some amazing inspirational items as well, real behind the scenes footage from the making of The DNA Journey. Piers Christiansen, thank you so much for joining us. God bless, my brother.
Thank you.